Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. Through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. So if anybody's not aware of this, this is a journey of an investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategy called compound return investing. So the objective is try to get 201 trades, each with an average return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades. We do take into account losses. So for further details about how to join us for less than $9 a month, information is available in the description below. In the previous video we looked at MMTLP and also GNS, and the focus was on updates with regard to the SEC. So please refer back to the previous video for those important updates. In today's video I'm going to be focusing on very important Twitter space chat that is taking place tomorrow. So I'm going to be sharing details of that. We have a special guest. The guest is Erin Arvedlund, so stay tuned for further details about this very important Twitter space. So before we do that and have a look at the details of that, I'm going to share with you headlines in terms of what's happening in the markets. Today was a very important day in terms of news. So headline here from Reuters: the Fed has delivered a small rate hike, still anticipates ongoing increases. So that was the first headline. And that has been followed on here by the Fed's Powell: if the economy meets expectations, unlikely to see rate cuts this year. So a little bit unstable. So it wasn't a big increase, just 25 BPS. And in terms of the markets, I am certainly hoping that this was already priced in and some recovery positively to continue. So before we look at tomorrow's space chat, quick shout out here to Tony from Market Moves, and he's added a post here with regard to the S1 filing that we just saw with regard to MMTLP. So the post here states: some understanding of Nexbridge Hydrocarbon's latest SEC filing, and the key thing to be aware of, there is a delay. So unlike previous S1 filings, in this case 40 million additional shares will be sold. So they are currently waiting for comments from the SEC's Division of Corporate Finance to review and approve. So key message here, there is a delay, and the details of this S1 filing not yet officially confirmed. I'm now going to start by giving you some background information with regard to Erin Arvedlund. So this is a headline here from Barron's, and this is dated May the 7th, 2001. So the headline here was: don't ask, don't tell, Bernie Madoff attracts skeptics. So this article here was from Erin Arvedlund. She wrote this article, and this article was instrumental in obviously creating suspicion and eventually bringing down Bernie Madoff. So what Erin Arvedlund wrote in this article is with regard to his hedge fund. So 2 years ago, at a hedge fund in New York, attendees were asked to name some of the favorite and most respected hedge fund managers. Neither George Soros or Julian Robertson were mentioned, but one manager received lavish praise, and that was Bernie Madoff. So those of you who've seen the documentary series drama documentary series, should we say, on Netflix, Erin does feature on that. So what I'd now like to remind you of is shout out here to C Sterling on Twitter. She's produced an excellent comparison here of the story of Madoff with our story of MMTLP. So in terms of Bernie Madoff, he had a Ponzi scheme, and let's now have a look at comparison of the two investment frauds. So Madoff had 10,000 investors, MMTLP 65,000. So obviously much bigger scale here with regard to us. In terms of the red flags, Bernie Madoff was an unregistered investment advisor. What we are dealing with is an unlawful trading of a ticker. So common thing here from the way I see it, there is fraud. So obviously the other common thing is fraud with regard to a common theme of linking FINRA. So we have FINRA. We also have the SEC. So the SEC never was instrumental in bringing down Madoff. They were always there on the outlines and on the outskirts, should we say, and not really looking at him in any detail. So FINRA is a similar situation. For us, FINRA are kind of turning a blind eye to the situation. They're not responding to investors' complaints and questions specifically, and they also allowed MMTLP to trade. So let's have a look at the other common feature here. Investor funds were never invested. That was with regard to Bernie Madoff's Ponzi scheme. And what we have in our situation, securities not yet purchased. So we have synthetic shares, obviously we have naked shorting, we have failed to delivers, and we have a whole situation which is currently a complete mess. So when FINRA said they are trying to avoid uncertainty in the market, the irony of that is their action actually created a huge amount of uncertainty. So their intention was not followed up in reality with what it was intended to do, or so-called. So further on down, the SEC was alerted in terms of the Madoff, but the SEC had numerous opportunities to do something about it, and they never did. In terms of the investigators, if you watch the documentary drama series, they did send in the two most junior investigators who basically Madoff charmed them, and they carried on as normal. She would say Bernie Madoff carried on as normal. So with regard to FINRA and the SEC, obviously people have been in touch. We have Congress, we have senators, and I am aware from the conversation from Erin Arvedlund on Monday with John Berder, Marty, and another person here, that there were in the early days important phone calls to FINRA, and the people with FINRA were sharing information. That is no longer the case. I think FINRA are very, very hesitant now to speak to people about MMTLP, and I think a lot of people will suddenly find that the phone line gets hung up. So FINRA is an organisation that is self-regulatory and is not currently resolving our issue. They are aware. They have been alerted. And then finally, investors lost billions with regard to Bernie Madoff's scheme, and we are also potentially in a situation where investors could lose billions, should we say millions, where people are in the dark, they don't know what's going on. There's a huge amount of uncertainty, but what we can also say here in addition to this is that the hedge funds have potentially saved billions. So in terms of the current overall situation, we now are not going away. We are fighting and we are continuing the cause to make our voices heard louder and louder. So let's now have a look at the details of this very important Twitter space that we will having tomorrow, and this is going to take place Thursday 2nd of February 2023, 4:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. This will be hosted by myself, and the co-hosts will be Syntax and Curtis. There is a link on the Twitter handle post. I will also add the link to this space chat in the description below. And in terms of confirmed speakers, I'll just summarize the schedule. So we have a very, very tight schedule, just 1 hour. So we'll start off with the introduction from myself. Hopefully Erin can also provide a small introduction. Syntax will do an introduction. Curtis also do an introduction. Those are the two people who will be co-hosting. Rosa has kindly agreed to attend as well. So she will be sharing a small 5-minute summary. Gray will also have an input in terms of his side. So hopefully he can provide something from the European side of things. The Bird Lady has also agreed, so she will share hopefully some information from the oil and gas point of view and the assets. Tony Twits, the mathematics expert, can also provide information in terms of his data and information and how he's been researching. Terry needs to wake up. Terry, can you get in touch? We need you on board. You are the OG. You are the person that was first investing in MMTLP. We'd love you to share your details of how you found that out and share that with Erin. So please get in touch quickly, because somebody out there, wake up Terry. RBT, again, I'm still reaching out with him, but provisionally agreed for the Right Brain Trader to also attend and share his story as well. Marduk, I've added him in as an important social media influencer, and he has been covering MMTLP in the Twitter spaces. So Marduk will be there promptly at 5:14 p.m. to 5:16 p.m. With a 1-minute opportunity for questions from Erin. So similar time schedule, so we only have an hour, and that's why we are trying to squeeze as many influencers here as possible. And then we will have Uncle Smokey to come in, chip in 5:17 to 5:19 p.m. And at the end, I'm going to finish off by a person by the name of Tony Terrace, who's going to share a heartbreaking story that hopefully will give a powerful finish to this. So this will be a public space. You're all free to attend. Those of you who are not on Twitter, feel free to create an account, join us, listen to the story. We've also tried to create a recording of this, and the next stage I'm hoping from this is to have another follow-on dedicated space where, after the social media influencers here, your personal investor stories can also be shared with Erin as well. And finally, thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.